So Manoj, in 2014-15, Xoxoday or Gift Zozo at that time was a big player in experiences in India. You decided to slow that down and pursue SaaS, which was still the ecosystem was still maturing. Nobody was confident about the results. So what led to that decision in 2016?
Yes, so if I had to give some background to it, so in the early years 2013, 14, 15, and till some part of 16, uh, we were doing experiences and activities as a business. And what we were trying to do is to build something like a Viator in India, where one can book experiences and activities in different types of categories like adventure, fine dining, hobbies, and then other different sorts of experiences for the Indian market. Because experiences and activities as a vertical was growing extremely well in international markets like the Americas and Europe. So we thought that we should be doing this in India because we started with experiences as a gift where people, instead of giving those regular flowers and cakes, why can't they give experiences as a gift? And then we thought that, okay, apart from gifting, why not open it to the larger crowd as a consumer business where people can just come on a mobile app and book these experiences when they are traveling, when they are staying in a hotel, and then so on. So that was the entire idea. And that is when we also got through Mr. Naveen Kshatriya, who was aware of these experiences market outside India, and he wanted to build that in India, and he was very excited about knowing that we are doing it, and then he became our first angel investor. So that is when we ramped up our experiences business, and we were also selling experiences and activities to the corporates in the form of rewards and incentives for their employees, channel partners, consumers, and so on. And that is the time when we acquired almost like 200 clients. We reached to a $2 million kind of a revenue by just selling experiences in the form of rewards. So the B2B part of experiences in the form of rewards and incentives picked up quite well. But the consumer side, which is the B2C side of experiences and activities, never picked up. So we spent almost like 3 years working very hard. And then that brand, we used to call it Frogo, Frogo. We did not mix it with Gift XOXO because Gift XOXO, we kept it like experiences and activities for corporates, B2B, whereas Frogo was more like very app first, mobile app first. And it was for the consumers who were traveling and who were staying in hotels to book those experiences. Now, what we found in those 3-4 years while doing these experiences and activities business is that uh, while the global markets are very mature in these things, but Indian market was still very immature. Even today, experiences market is still very premature in India. The reasons are, number one, there is lack of formal suppliers. I mean, the supply itself is very, very fragmented. You don't get great supply of experiences and activities like museums and adventure and hobbies and all those different things which you typically do in international markets. The second was there are no standards or guidelines by the government in India around these experiences. So safety and security was always a question. There were no trainings, no certifications, etc. So it was hard to find who is a good supplier and who is a bad supplier. And the third was even on the demand side from consumers. In India, people talk a lot about experience, but they don't really walk the talk. I mean, they don't buy experiences as such because end of the day for Indians, experiences even today largely mean that, okay, I'll go for a movie, I'll go and dine with my friends or family, or maybe I'll go to some tour which is like your
Okay.
typical tours, whereas experiences are much more beyond that, which is like museums and adventure and land experiences and water experiences and so on, which Indians were not really consuming, and they were very price sensitive. So even when we are selling it at X rupees, the customer will go to the vendor indirectly and then haggle with the vendor and try to get a better price. Putting all these things together, we found that the business is not very scalable and viable in India from a B2C perspective. So that is when we took a very hard call that I think it's a unnecessary distraction. Let's not waste time in the consumer business. And that is when in 2016 end of year, I think it was November or December, we shut it down. The B2B side of experiences and activities is something which continues. I mean, we don't put any extra efforts there. It is part of the reward catalog, and it is driven through API. So if a customer is booking or redeeming their rewards on experiences, even today, those customers can do that. But yes, I mean, the decision was largely because India was never ready for experiences and activities those days and even today. And we were focused upon India as a market in experiences. We were not really focusing on international market because there were already large players in international markets. Other interesting thing which happened in the same time was that when we started experiences and activities in India, some really large companies also came into that market because the market was, I mean, there was a lot of noise. So Airbnb entered into India with trips. Clear Trip started a very large vertical around experiences. Make My Trip got into experiences. Taj Holidays got into experiences, and so on. So I think the market started kind of getting into these things. But if I talk today, all of them shut down or winded up their experience verticals in India. So Airbnb doesn't do experiences anymore in India. Clear Trip had shut it down. Make My Trip has shut it down, largely because the market opportunity was too small. Since we were already doing rewards and incentives in the form of experiences for B2B, which is corporates, we thought that why not enter big time into rewards, incentives, and commissions with these SaaS solutions. We had some premature SaaS solutions, but then we kind of put our best efforts there and scaled them. And that is how we came up with these three products in 2017: Plum for consumer incentives, Empuls for employee engagement and rewards recognition, and Compass for sales and channel incentives. And I think this was one of the best decisions which we took. While we were all very um, excited with experiences as a business, but we had to take some practical calls. And after that decision, I think all these three products have been doing very well, and Xoxoday as a company has been doing very well since then.